Hey everyone, it's William. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. The reason why I decided to come on here is because I had a parent tell me that when other people who don't know anything about neurodivergence experience and they're witnessing or dealing with a child that's having a meltdown, they often don't know what to think. So, is it essential that you find a way to educate people about neurodivergence in 5 minutes or less? Well, first, before I answer this, if you're new to my channel, please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon. Be sure to also give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment in the comments section below to help boost this video. And if you want me to continue making consistent autism-related content along with more in-depth educational content or video requests, please be sure to subscribe to my Patreon to help support me in that way. Now on to the topic. First, I think it's important to understand that you don't owe anyone an explanation if your child is dysregulated at that very moment. While the child is having a meltdown, I would just politely ask for space or whatever will support the child best in that moment. When I used to work as a security officer at a casino, we would have guests that would fall or collapse or go through a seizure, and so all available security officers would have to clear the area of guests so that the person injured has plenty of space to recover. A lot of people would try to sneak past the security officers and get a better look at what happened, but it's really not their business. I could just politely say to them, "The guest is dealing with an injury. It's nothing to be alarmed about, but I'm going to need you to give them some space." If you deal with an instance like that, you could always say something like, "My child's been pushed past their ability to self-regulate. They're not angry, just overwhelmed. They need some time in a safe and non-threatening environment. You can help by giving us some space and not staring. Thank you." Now, it is very likely that you're going to be dealing with a lot of rude people who encounter your child having a meltdown, like, "You're such a horrible parent. You need to take better care of your child. Why are you letting them act that way? They're disturbing everyone's shopping." If it comes down to that, you can always say, "My child has autism, so being in crowded environments like these is overwhelming." "Well, you shouldn't bring your kid to a store if it's going to make them uncomfortable." Well, in that case, what are you supposed to do? If you're a single parent or your spouse is away and you need groceries and no one is able to look after your child, what can you do? You can't leave them in the car. There are some remedies that you can try to help reduce the likelihood of dealing with bystanders giving you a hard time. You could give your child noise cancellation headphones to drown out the noise in the environment, or you could give them a comfort toy or a fidget toy for security when you enter a crowded space. Maybe give your child a heads up when you're going to be changing places or traveling. If they end up having a meltdown, you could help calm them down before having to deal with ongoers, like squeezing them tight or soothing them. If it comes down to where a manager has to talk with you regarding how people are complaining about your child, then I would calmly explain that your child has autism, ask if they're familiar with it. If they're not, explain that being in public places is a lot for them to process, and having a meltdown is usually caused by feeling overwhelmed. I'm often faced with situations at work where I'm having talks with my bosses about my performance, and I often explain that I have autism. My brain works differently than others, and sometimes I misinterpret things or don't understand things like others do. How they respond to that is something I have no control over. They could be understanding, offer constructive feedback and suggestions on how to help me, or they could be dismissive and accuse me of making excuses. We interrupt this program to give a shout out to this amazing product.
You know, when I was diagnosed with autism, I was predicted to never be independent. Well, guess what? I live in my own house and I clean. Want to know what I like to use to help me clean? This handy dandy wireless vacuum cleaner by Orfeld. I absolutely love it. It is like so light and it is so like portable. You can just take it everywhere with you. All you have to do is charge it up, It's great for getting underneath surfaces. You can even detach the floor roller accessory and then use it as a hose.
What's also nice is that you can carry this baby with you out to your car and vacuum.
It also has a dustbin that you can easily detach and then dispose of in the trash. If anybody is interested in this wireless vacuum cleaner by Orfeld, I will be sure to include a link to where you can purchase it on Amazon. I would highly recommend it.
So just to sum it all up, the best way to explain autism in less than 5 minutes is to basically say, I have autism, or my child has autism. Our minds work differently than others, so sometimes we may get overwhelmed easily, or we may have a hard time learning and understanding, and we need to be taught in a different way. We also need people to cooperate by giving us space and time. Well, I hope that this video was helpful. If you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comments section. Also, be sure to subscribe to my Patreon so that I can keep on making content, or if you have a video request. And I'll see you all in the next video.